Hi everyone! So this is my first streaming right now, and it's December. Advent of Code just started, so let's try to solve some of the challenges. Let's see. So this is the Advent of Code website. I'm logged in using GitHub, and as you can see, it's the first day of December. Let's see the first challenge of this Advent of Code calendar. So historian hysteria. We're looking for a chief historian. He was visiting some location significant to the North Pole, and as each location is checked, we will mark it on the list with a star. The star is the one we need to get when we solve the challenge. The elf has figured out that the chief historian must be in one of the first 50 places, so we need to get 50 stars before December 25th, when Santa is going to give the presents. We collect stars by solving puzzles. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Let's start. Here we haven't even left yet, and the group of Elvish senior historians has it a problem. They have an empty list of location. So we need to decide which is the best place to check for looking for the chief historian. Upon pouring into his office, we confirm that he's not there. Instead, they discover an assortment of notes and list of significant locations. So I think this challenge we will have to work on locations. Perhaps this note can be used to determine which location to search. As I said, the historical significant location are listed not by name, but with a new unique number, which is the location ID. We split into 2 groups, each searching the office. That's just one problem. There's just one problem. By holding the 2 lists side by side, it becomes clear that the lists aren't so similar. Maybe we can help. So this is a similarity problem. I don't know. So this is a list of the locations. Maybe they're off only by a small amount. To find out, pair up the numbers and measure how far. Okay, so we need to measure the distance between the pair of numbers in these lists. Okay, within each pair, figure out how far apart the 2 numbers are and add up all those distances. First, okay, so we pair up the smallest number of the 2 lists, then the second smallest, and so on. So I think we will have to sort these lists and compute the distances and sum them. Okay, this is the example. Here we have the explanation on the example and the example result. So let's start doing this in Rust. And given that this is the first day, let's also create the project. House 2024. I prefer to call it with the name of the directory. Why isn't it here? Okay. Because I made a mistake. Cargo new. House 2024. It's here. Let's rename it to 2024. And let's also see the cargo advent of code. I'd like to call it like this. We also have a main, but I think we will not use it. I think I will create a new binary for each day. So binary 01. Later, I think let's first solve this, and then we will create some scripts to automate this scaffolding stuff. So first thing we're gonna do, we are writing some tests. So cfg test actually, maybe with round brackets, then mod, and the first test is the test on part 1. Now we need to copy the example, give it to a function, and get back the results. So let input be this, and we need to assert that it's 11 for part 1 of input. Now in pure TDD way, we can try to do tests of the binary 01. Okay, we couldn't affect cargo because I'm not in the directory. Again, okay, so it's already crashing. Let's create a function with an input, which will be a string for today. We return util2 right now it returns 0. Okay, now we also need to use the function. I'm gonna stay simple and just use super. I even forgot how to do it. Okay, it passes, so this is not right. Okay, and use variable input. We didn't specify that this is a test, and now it should fail. Okay, now it fails. We can write the implementation for part 1. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna split the lines and split the columns. Let's see how to do that. So that lines equals to input lines. Now, how am I gonna split the string? I don't know. There's a split method in the string crate, so we can split using a pattern like this. We're gonna split on the space character. So these spaces right here, it's 3 spaces, but let's see the input file to be sure. This is the puzzle input. It has 3 spaces. Okay, so we can split using the 3 spaces here. We split using this 3 spaces. This is not the correct way. This is just to split a single string. So let's do it again. We map for every line. We return line split over the 3 spaces. Now I also need to create 2 vectors from this one. Maybe there will be I don't know how to call it, but there should be some way to do that. So let's do this vector of strings. No, not even strings. It's okay. Let's see what it returns. Let's see the error, and we will go from there. Okay, so collect doesn't work. Let's keep returning one just to make it fail. Okay, we should give it a type so that collect knows what to do, but we don't know the type. So the type returned from split is a split, and we can use that to do stuff. They have private fields, they have trait implementation, they should have some methods. So it's an iterator. Okay, there's a reminder from the split. Okay, basically it's an iterator. Okay, so we can collect this into 2 vectors. We should get now I want to get an array of E32, so I can just do this. I can transform each item and parse it. Now to parse, we can just use the parse method, I think, or from string. So we can do this item. It's a string. I want to do U32 from string of item, and then umbrella. Now the nice thing about Advent of Code is that we don't need to check for errors. This is a nice thing and also a bad thing, because checking for errors should be quite important for programmers, but we don't need it right now. Let's try again and see if it fails at least. Okay. I should do like this. This is better. Again, from doesn't fail, so I can do it like this. No, the trait is not implemented. Okay. Again. Let's get the from string and use the crate. Students vector from string. Okay. And close the limiter in here. We didn't close the map, I think. This is the first map. This is the collect, and this is our map. So this is a vector of vectors of u32. Okay, it fails. Now we should split these two. Now I don't know how to do it, but let's look for it. I could do this. First is lines, line first, or line 0. This is the second. List. I don't know if he likes it and if it compiles. It's okay. Iterator over both. And we do this. We also need to say, see, these are vectors of u32. Okay, it fails again. Now we need to sort them. How do we sort a vector? This is Stack Overflow. I need something better. Maybe here. This is sort. Perfect. Now we need to make it mutable. And we need to sort it. Let's sort the second and try again. It fails, but at least it compiles. Now, is there a way to zip it? So, like this, there's a zip. So we can zip the two, and we can then write an iterator to do that. Now we will refactor this in order to unzip this one instead of doing these lines here. So let's zip. Just need to zip first and second. Let's see if it compiles again. Should add the use. Now it compiles. Now we can do the funny part. So here we have a pair. So we have the number 1 and number 2. We need to make difference. I don't know if Rust has the absolute value. Yes, std num abs. Of n1 minus n2. We should sum them and return the sum. Let's see. I forgot something. So there's no std num abs. Don't think there is. There's an abs in std. We can just write abs. The compiler should figure out it and tell us the error, so it's not found. But I can do this. For example, in i32, there is. So I can convert the two numbers. So this might be an i32 and i32. I also change the types here. Now we should get abs in here. Okay, he doesn't like it. That's fine. That's because because we should do this. Nope. We should cast it with the as maybe like this. Now, iterator is an i32, and we need to transform it back to u32 because he likes it. Cannot infer the time. Okay, the sum should be an integer. And now we have the first test passing. Now that the test passes, we can drop all of this code and write it better. So first thing first, we can unzip a vector in Rust. I think there should be like we have a zip. No, we don't have a zip. We have extract. No, I don't think so. Can split a vector maybe. Split vector of pairs. Maybe that's better query. In Rust. This and okay, iterator unzip. So there was a okay. Now, so we have this, but we want okay. This part here, I don't like this part basically. I just want to split and collect it into pair. There should be a split pair in Rust. I think there is. Here. No, there's no split pair. Just look for pair. Nope. But I remember now there's a split once. Maybe. There should be a split once. No. There isn't. Okay, there is a split once. So we have string split once, it returns a pair, an optional pair. So we can do, instead of split, we can do split once. We can map the two items, I think, and then we can collect them back into a pair. This should create a vector of pair of U32. Split once again must be unwrapped. Okay, string is not an iterator, right? So let's try to search for this again. Parse string iterator. Yes, there should be an elegant way to do that. No, not right now. So we split once and we, but at least this will return a pair, so I can just unzip here. Think. Let's comment this code out so we don't get any other errors. Okay. Here is not an iterator, and we know that. Again, okay, this is not an iterator. If we unzip, we get the two. So the left and right vectors. Now we expect. Let's see if it can do it without us. Okay. Now, this is okay. I still need to figure out how to parse the numbers, but at least we have two vectors. Pair of strings to pair of numbers. Here. Don't like this. We should map it. So we can map it like this. We split once. We unwrap, then we map. No. I mean, we can map because it's still an iterator. So we can do we can do this. We will get a pair. So number one, number two. And we can do what we were doing here, which was u32 from string of n1 unwrap. We don't need second unwrap, but we need to copy this and do this. And so, okay, let's see if it works. We work out, close the final map, and we need to unwrap this one or to collect it. Unwrapping. No. Okay, this is the new 32 and result because we because this is not right. Let's try again. Okay, so we have an u32. This is fine. Why is this not fine? Oh, because the unwrap is on the end. So we need to get it out from string. And now this is a pair of unsigned ints. Okay. Now, I don't know why is there no. Okay, there's expected. Okay, we have an option, so we need to unwrap this part of the array. No? What do we need to unwrap? Okay. Let's try again. Why don't you like this? Ah, so the unzip expected. Okay, so we need to move the unwrap up. Let's try with this. Don't think I saved. Method not found. Why is it looking for unwrap here? Ah, okay. We cannot unwrap a map of lines. We need to collect it. So what happens with this is that we find an option of u32, u32. Why is this a problem? Let's see if it has the same error. Okay, so it's the same error. The zip cannot work out with this option. Okay, so the split ones map and unwrap on both. Okay. Why is this an option? Maybe we need an unwrap over here? No. Maybe we need an unwrap on the end. I'm doing it very randomly. I don't know what I'm doing. So this unwrap. Okay. We should be able to sort them now. Can I do this? I think I can. Yeah, maybe it's better if you move over them. Now I can do this too. So left sort and right sort. Again, should be able to do that. Oh, but sort, oh, doesn't know the type. So we should have a vector of u32 here. And the vector of u32. Actually, we will make them vectors of i32, so it's easier. We don't have to do casting. 32 over here. We need an integer here. We also didn't say if it was signed or not. So again, this is working fine. We sort and then we sum them. This should work without getting the type. Okay. Okay, the names are not right. So left and right. And we need to know the sum. Cast it back and it should pass. Now it's time to run it. So we need to run the part one over the file. So let's do a function main. We need to first read the file, and I don't know how to do that. So let's go over to the documentation and read the file. So using fs, we need to download the file, and I know how to download the file. There's a nice CLI app which is called AOC CLI. It's this one, I think. The nice thing is that it downloads both the inputs and the puzzles. So let's do this. Cargo install. And I can just say AOC. Now I already set up the session cookie in my home directory. And we can just call AOC download. I should say the day, which is 01 today. And just the input. And I can also say the directory. Let's start with 01.txt just to download the file, and then we will figure out unexpected argument. This is the output. The output of the download is input file, like this. So we should have the file in the 2024 folder. Okay. I actually want to create a new folder in here. So wait, what did I do? Here. Make the inputs and then download it into the inputs directory. Input file inputs 01. Now we have the file in the inputs. I want to read the file, so going from the guide, let's read the contents. So fs read. So input is equal to fs read to string of inputs 01. Then I should be able to get the result back, part one of input. And I should be able to print it print the result. Let's try. Cargo run bin 1. Nope. Now we have a result. Okay. Hope the file exists. Should panic otherwise. Now we have a number, and I hope it's the right one. Otherwise, I'm gonna be mad. This one. This one. That's the right answer. So we have 1 star. Let's go and get the second one. So part 2. The list of locations are indeed very different. Are they different? They can't agree on which group made the mistakes or how to read the handwriting. Notice a detail. A lot of location appear in both lists. Maybe the other numbers aren't location, but are misinterpreted handwriting. I need to figure out how often each number from the left list appears in the right list. We need to calculate a similarity score by adding up each number in the left list. Adding up each number after multiplying it by the number of times that the number appears in the right list. Okay. So, for example, 3 is present 1, 2, and 3 times. So we need to create a number 9. 4 for the 4, which is there just 1 time. Okay, so for each number on the left, we need to count how many times it is on the right list, create a similarity score, sum them, and okay. Let's create the test for part 2. For part 2, let's just copy the part 1. We can refactor it later. We need to get this 31. So what are we gonna do for part 2? We are gonna do the same thing from here. So we're gonna get the 2 lists. We're gonna sort them, I think. And then we're gonna just do a for loop. I don't care about the performance right now. The file is quite small. Part 2. We don't even have to sort them. It's fine. So for each item on the left, we don't even need them to be mutable because we don't need to sort them. So for each item on the left side, we need to count the number on the right side. So left, we iterate over the elements, we map each element, and we say, this is the item on the left. I want to do this. I want on the right to iterate over the array and to filter it. Now I hope we have a filter. Filter in Rust. Yes, we have a filter. And maybe we also have a count. Yes. Now we have a filter which says the number on the right, if the number on the left is equal to the number of the right, we count and we sum the numbers. We could just do this. Now let's see if the types are okay. Cargo test is still here. Now sum needs something to work on. This is usize. So this is usize, and we need it as u32. Again. Oh, this is just a sum. It will be different from the multiplication. Okay. Now, why does this work like this? Because the right size is not actually the element, but it's a reference. So we need to reference it. This should work. It returns 11. This is just a distance. We need to multiply the left element by the sum over the right. Again, it doesn't work. But why? Because right now it is an I32 because we got a usize from the count and multiplied with an I32, which is the L. So let's do this. I32. I hope it stays in the... Now, there's no implementation. Okay. The left side right now is a reference because the compiler sees that the L is used in both the multiplication and this right here, and you need to use an iterator to do that. So let's do this. Again, it doesn't like it. I32 by usize is not possible. So I want L to be a new size, which is better. I also want to sum this as usize, which is basically U32. Okay. Why? Ah, because I'm still running the part 1 here. We don't know if this will compile. Okay, so pass the test. Solution for part 1 is this. Solution for part 2. So result of part 1. We don't even need that. Let's do this. And the solution for part 2 is this one. Now we run the project and we get a number, which I don't think is right, but let's try. Not this one, sorry. Part 2. Part 2 is this one. Let's copy that. Okay, we need to wait 1 minute because I just pasted the wrong text. Now, how can we improve this code later? I don't know, but this code I definitely don't like. In the advent of code, it's fine to write ugly code, but it's quite ugly in here. But it's okay for now. Let's see if 1 minute pass. Not yet. It's okay. No, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we completed the first day of Advent of Code in just 30 minutes, which is a lot. Now, all of this code, we can generalize it and create a scaffolding script. So, for example, if I write cargo scaffold for day 2, I want to create the o2.rs and I want to download the input for the second day. We can try to write 2 binaries. One is called scaffold, and we just basically take the O1 and create a template for today. The template will have this format. We have a main. We can also add some emojis, so like Christmas tree. Solution for part 1 and part 2, they have the Christmas tree. Not here, in the end. Oh, like this. This is part 1 and part 2. We also need to read the day. So here we need to read the inputs here, but we can just put the example file. We can just leave the input like this, or we can read it from an example file. But maybe we can try to do something like that, or we can do this, for example, day in this, and also, well, I don't know. Let's start by reading a file and copying it. So in the scaffold, we want to read the arguments, but I don't know how to do that. Let's see. So let's start from reading the template. Template is equal to s read string as I did in the O1. So as you also have here, read to string of search bin template. I know this file exists and I'm okay with that. Now we also need to replace, so this will be a mutable string. We also need to replace the day. We also need to know the day. We need to get it from command line. So how do we do that? We could do it with in the easy way, the one from the, let's start with the easy way. So we get all the args, we use std, that. Now the day will be args. Let's try to do the debug. So debug of args and try to run the scaffold. So run scaffold 01. We're not using FS, so let's do it from here. Okay, so we have the scaffold and we have the day. We don't need year, we don't need anything else right now. So not having a, I don't even remember how to get the vectors length. I'm sorry. Is it a len? Okay, so if args len is less than 2, we panic. Need the day. If we have the day, then the day will be args of 1 parsed as a string. So u30 from args of 1 unbrought. Let's print the day and see how, okay, it doesn't work. String, it's better. We need to get from string, so std string from string. Again, we are borrowing a string. We don't need to borrow the string. So let's again. Now we have the equals to 1. Where do we need to write? So the output file is equal to this. We write source bin, and then we need to put at least 2 digits .rs. Which one it is? It's the day. So let's try to debug the output path. And it is source bin 01. We also need to replace the day inside our template with the day variable like this. So we can do something like that. Now for the test, right now we don't need to do anything, but let's keep modifying our template. Now, how can we replace something in a string? Let's go in string and replace. Let's see how to do that. Replace. Easy. What do we want to do? We want to replace the content, the template. So the template, we need to replace the string day with the actual day, which is this one, which is the day as a string. Okay, need to replace this with the day. Then we need to write the file. So this is the template. This is the output path. How do we write? Okay, just write the file. And again, write all. I think. Let's see if there's an easier way. Yes. File create and file write all. Okay, so output file equals to file create output path. Then we go to the output file and write the template. Let's see if this works with the second day. So let's scaffold the second day. Okay, doesn't work. We found a string. So okay, so for the day we need this. Let day string, or we can just do this. Let day, and use this again without the 02. As this is a string, replace the day with day. Should work. We need to import this too. Copy this too. Just this one actually. Okay. Write all is not found because output is actually a result. So let's do wrap for now. Just want to check. Right. Now the template must not be a string, must be a byte array. Can we write a string? Let's see. Should work. Oh, we can just do this, okay. Returns a result. So we can, instead of doing file create, we can do s write of output path template. Could not combine. Okay, where is the error? Oh, we don't need this. Finished, and we don't have a 02. Or do we? Okay, we have a 02, which should compile. So cargo test being 02. Okay, it doesn't compile, but it works. We can also just return. We can just return 0. No, it updated the file, so let's check the new one. Okay, this should work. Test. Yeah, okay, they're not used. They're not compiled. Unuse the import. There's a lot of errors, and also this comma. Okay, we also need to add a comma here. Now maybe here we can return an option instead of a number, and we can do this so that here we can return none. and the test passes if it's done. This test is okay. These one are okay. They will return some, or we can do let start part one be this. Result part two be this, and print them just only if they have value. So if the result part one, or if let sum of res equal to this, then we print the result of part one, which is res, same thing for two. Result part two and part two. Again, we can test carborane bin two. It unwrapped something that we don't want to unwrap. Oh, this is the template, right? So let's scaffold again. Let's run, and it should pass. Okay, fine. We should also create a file called example in the examples directory. And we should also ignore all the inputs. So in the inputs, we create a file .keep. We create a git ignore. We ignore the inputs after having had the keep. So git add. Where are we? Inputs. Okay. Now we can add inputs to this. And we should also add a directory for the examples, because I don't want to put them as a string like this. This is quite ugly, and the examples might be way bigger than this. So examples, we add git keep here. We add the examples. And we can do this also in the ignore. So we ignore that. It's okay. Now the same thing, which we could try to read from the examples day. We could try to assert equal of none for now for the part one of it. Same thing. This is examples, and this is the part two. So part two. Again, let's try to scaffold the two. Let's see how the two is done. So here we have the real part two. We can try to run. No, we can try to test the binary. And it failed. Why? Okay, there's no such file directory for the example. That's right. We need to create the input and the example for them. So we can try to do this. This is the output path. This is the input file path. This is the example file path. So inputs and the examples. Now, for the examples, we can just write the file. We write an empty string to the example file path. Now we should also check if the file already exists, but it's okay for now. So let's scaffold again the A2. We should see an example. No, we don't see an example. Okay. Examples and inputs. And this is not txt. Again, on line 28. Why? Okay. Or maybe he doesn't want an empty string. And here in the example, okay, we have no files. That's okay. Oh, maybe. That's fine. See what is the example file path. Yeah, I need to borrow this. Okay. But why? Examples 02.txt. Maybe because the write needs. Let's see how it works. All right, it's path and text and text. We need to create an empty file here. Okay, we have an empty file here for the example for the 02. We also need to download the inputs. Now, how can we run a command? Actually, how can we check if the file exists? So, rust check. How do we do that? We can just check the path exists. So, if we do this and get the path create, we can try to check if it exists and then not create the input files for each file. So this is the binary. We write the binary, then we write to the example file, and then we download the input file. Now, the input file should be idempotent, so we can download it and we don't care. As for the binary and example, we don't want to overwrite them. So the write should give an error, I think. Let's see if the write gives an error. May fail if the path does not exist. It replaces content. We don't need that. We want to see if they exist. So path new binary path. If it exists, if it does not exist, we create that. Same thing for the example. We need to move this line up there and copy this. The example file path. Okay. As for the input, now we will call the AOC-click. So let's try to, again, scaffold the number 2. I hope this number 2 is not. So let's try to write something. I want to see this is sum again. Scaffold the 2. And we get an error because we need this to be a reference. Okay, now the 02.rs didn't get modified. Now we should be fine. We just need to finally download the input for the day. So as we saw before, it was AOC. We need to call this command. So let's see how to call a command. Rust. command in SCD process. Okay. I think we will need this, so we command and we say command new of AOC. Let's give it some arguments. Arguments are download, we have the day, and we need to give it day, so we can give day. We need to say input only, input file. Let's just copy this. Input only, input file, and so on, so forth. So input only, input file, and inputs. So the input file path. So input file path. We also need to run this. So we say output, and for the joy of every Rust programmer, we just say mrun. Let's scaffold day2. Did it work? No, we didn't actually run the command. And why? Did we scaffold this? Let's print. Let's print the output. Let's see. Okay. Cannot be formatted. Let's see how it's done. Okay. We got an error. Oh, okay. We don't have the puzzle for the day2. So let's scaffold day1. Fail to write because the file exists. So we can still get errors. We should check the output of this. I think I will continue tomorrow to finish this setup script, and then we will go on with day2 so that I can scaffold and use it. So for today, we should be fine, and see you tomorrow.